All right, I did it. I'm now a million miler on Delta Airlines. I've been flying since I was a young child in the 1980s. I've experienced the joy of travel on so many airlines, traveling around the world from Milan to Miami and from Sydney to the Seychelles. I've traveled on worldwide carriers, some of which don't exist anymore. But in 2007, I opened up my SkyMiles account with Delta Airlines, and today I hit 1 million miles. The day has come. It's time for my million miler flight on Delta Airlines. I specifically wanted my million miler flight to be a departure from LaGuardia Airport, the airport that I know best and have an intense adoration for. I wanted this flight to be from LaGuardia so bad, I even took a different airline for the flight before this one, just so my million miler flight could be from LaGuardia. That's all I wanted. As long as my destination was more than 316 miles away from LaGuardia, I'd reach million miler status. This was my million miler progress the day of the flight, just 316 miles to 1 million. So since I had to be in Orlando that day, my destination is Orlando, Florida. Now, I've already flown more than 1 million miles, but there's no recognition or formal record of that because my flying has always been scattered across various airlines. And I know I've already exceeded 1 million miles on Delta because I did fly Delta before I created my SkyMiles account, but those flights don't count. So here we are today, the day of formal recognition of million miler status. To put things into perspective, flying 1 million miles is more than 2 round-trip journeys from the Earth to the Moon. Now, today's flight otherwise is going to be standard. It's going to be on a route that I fly often and on the A321, a plane that operates very frequently on the routes that I fly. It's time to go inside. As a platinum medallion, I have access to the Sky Priority check-in area where I dropped off one bag. The wait time at Sky Priority was 0 minutes, and I took my usual pause on this level before heading up to TSA. All right, I'm getting closer to 1 million miles, but right now I'm focused on the operation. Today, we should be departing at runway 4. If you're new to this channel, I typically focus on air traffic control and flight routes, so to see more, let's go through TSA and get a peek of what to expect airside today. All right, I made it past TSA and I am at my favorite spot at the airport, the big window, just on the other side of security. Love the view. It's raining today. Not gonna get the best views on takeoff, but it's my million miler flight, so that's super exciting. This might be my only flight ever out of LaGuardia where I'm just a little bit less excited about the view. And today we've got a pretty normal runway configuration with a slightly rare approach. You see, runway 31 is the landing runway, with runway 4 is the departure runway, but runway 31 arrivals are not on the curved RNAV X-ray approach. They're on the straightened approach. The winds are a little bit strong today, so they tend to do straightened approaches in conditions like this. From this side of the airport, we can only see runway 31 arrivals. Runway 4 is around the corner. Now, as usual, I'm just doing my typical walk around the airport because I don't like staying still before any flight. Are these balloons for me? Could it be? It's not. It's Delta's initiative for a good cause today. $1 million airline does $1 million work. This view is worth $1 million. But I need to get to my gate in the 80s concourse. Today, my gate will be a very short walk from the TSA checkpoint in the beautiful Terminal C. My plane is on its way from Atlanta, and I want to get to the gate early because of it being a very special flight for me. The energy and excitement feeling was overwhelming, but what put it over the top was this wonderful gift that was given to me at the gate. Let's take a look inside. These lovely Delta pens are quite elegant, and I love the million miler written on this organizer. What a great way for me to be able to keep track of things in the future. Here's some Delta branded hand sanitizer and some luggage tags that I can use on my carry-on and checked bags. And here is my favorite airport code embroidered on this cap. Finally, inside the gift was a personal message of congratulations from the LaGuardia team. Thank you, Delta, for everything. Here's to another million miles. Now, the gifts don't stop there. Watch this video to the end to see what Delta offered me after this flight. It's time to get on the million miler flight now. I'm flying in style today. Today, I'm in the first row of first class on the right side of the plane. All right, everybody, what a great experience at the terminal at LaGuardia Airport. Let's get ready for our departure today. The first thing that I did while I was on board was log in to the personalized in-flight entertainment screen. I like how the airline thanks me for being a platinum medallion here. I only use the screen to watch the map because I'm really into flight tracking, so I switched to the map view. There was plenty of leg room with no seat ahead of me, and since this was the bulkhead seat, I had to store everything I had in the overhead bin, but the space down there was great. I claimed my complimentary bottle of water, which is offered to first-class passengers at boarding. I like having water always available to you rather than having to wait for it to be served. There are plenty of ways to keep charged on this A321. All right, we're getting ready for pushback. Today we're using runway 4. I'm expecting the Bronx climb. Unfortunately, the window is wet, but I'll try to make the most of it. I can't wait for takeoff as we turn over the Bronx and await the turn to the south. I typically sit on the left-hand side for the left turn after the climb over the Bronx for the Manhattan view, but only the right side was available today. It's a gloomy day outside for sure, but that's not going to kill the mood. Once I become a million miler, I'm excited that Delta will bestow upon me gold medallion status for life. And I can't wait to get to a web browser after I land so I can select a special million miler gift. Delta will also send me million miler bag tags. I'm also excited that after this flight, I'll be higher up on future flight upgrade lists with regard to other platinum medallions on the upgrade list. There are benefits to being a million miler. The flight attendant just congratulated me for being a million miler. It was in her system. That was nice. As she walked by to confirm my pre-selected meal choice, she recognized this achievement.
Flight us prepare to go for departure.
Due to a long taxi to runway 4 today, she had some extra time on the ground while taxiing out to confirm or take the meal orders of every first-class passenger. There were many aircraft taxiing out to runway 4 that shared the same departure fix as us, so it took some time to get to the runway to allow for separation. Once we were told to line up and wait on runway 4, I gazed out the window for runway 31 arrivals that would conflict with us. LaGuardia has now switched to the curved RNAV X-ray runway 31 approach as weather conditions have improved. There goes our traffic. It's on a 2-mile for runway 31. Runway 31 intersects with runway 4, so it's time to get our takeoff clearance before that plane lands. We'll see that plane again as we lift off, clear of it before it lands. What a great takeoff. It's time for the left turn to 360 degrees, which is part of the Bronx climb. Now, for those of you who are regulars here, you know that I always describe every turn and include air traffic control, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do so. Why? Well, we received some pretty extended vectoring in the New York airspace before proceeding on course to the south due to southbound volume, and that ate up a lot of time, so I'm going to put out a separate video featuring this flight from an air traffic perspective. This video is all about being a million miler. What a departure that was. We were in the TRACON's airspace for what seemed like maybe 20 minutes. You'll see how it was handled by ATC once that video comes out. For now, we're at cruising altitude, so it's time for the highlight of the cabin service. Okay, we're getting ready for a meal service. The flight attendant came by and gently placed the napkin on the now extended tray table that was previously stored in the armrest. So I was able to pre-select my meal on my flight this evening. There were many choices, and I went with the manicotti tonight. Here are the options that became available for me to select 5 days before departure.
It's called lunch, but I thought of it as dinner since I ate lunch before I left for LaGuardia, but the departure time was between a typical lunch and dinner time. You can see here how my options included meatballs, salad, manicotti, stuffed peppers, or a Shake Shack burger. I'm sure all were good, but my comfort food is any kind of pasta, so it was manicotti for me. My go-to drink is simply water. I just love water, and I couldn't even tell you what the other drink options were. I love a cold glass of water with ice to accompany any meal. Here's the 3-cheese manicotti. It was delicious. As described in the menu, it was in a creamy tomato sauce and included roasted cherry tomatoes and nut-free basil pesto.
It's time for the first bite. Very good. Thank you, Delta.
I really enjoyed this meal in the sky. The dish was accompanied by bread and butter, followed by a delicious lemon dessert. This footage here shows you how much I enjoyed the meal.
Well, dinner was great. The manicotti was cooked to perfection. I really enjoyed it. I ate the whole thing. But I don't want to lose sight about situational awareness. Right now, we're flying over North Carolina, and our cruising altitude today is only 24,000 feet. We're pretty low.
Flying low and below the clouds afforded a great view of Rocky Mount in North Carolina.
All right, the fun part is starting. We're getting a little bit of rough air. Always love a little turbulence on a flight.
The bumps are always enjoyable, but as soon as they started, the pilot climbed to a higher altitude to find some smoother air. Once it was safe to do so, I took a few steps to the first-class lavatory by the forward boarding door. We started descending when I was in there, so the seatbelt sign came back on.
Well, it's time for the approach to MCL.
We can see the population density increase as we get closer and lower to the major city of Orlando. The city has 2 commercial airports, and this plane is coming into the Orlando Sanford Airport. Down there, we see the downtown executive airport, but airliners don't fly into or out of that airport. Here we can see our destination, MCO, and all we need to do is fly past it and make a right U-turn to land. Just like this airplane, the plane ahead of us. It's time for a landing on runway 35 right at the Orlando International Airport. The flight is almost over, but I have an assignment after landing.
Well, 1 million miles are complete. All right, I did it. I'm now a million miler on Delta Airlines.
After landing, I checked my SkyMiles account, and you can see that I have now exceeded 1 million miles on Delta. Soon after landing, I was invited by Delta to make a selection from a curated selection of gifts. These were my options. They included a wine set with a $500 Delta E gift card, an A350 model with a $500 Delta E gift card, a Delta Heritage logo set with a $500 Delta E gift card, but I hardly paid attention to any of the physical gifts as I immediately saw what I wanted. I went for the $1,000 Delta E gift card. I'm not a collector of anything physical, even if it's in the airline industry, which I love. And I don't drink, so the 1,000 Delta E gift card works best for me. I also filled out a form to receive my personalized Million MILER bag tag for my luggage, but I honestly don't see me using it. I just look at these as brag tags, and I'm not interested in showing off to others at the airport.
All right, everybody, it's all over. Thank you so much for joining me on the flight today from LaGuardia to Orlando. Remember that if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I invite you to click on the subscribe button below, hit the bell button, hit the like button, and I'll be back with another flight just like this really soon. Thanks, everybody. See ya.
Here's to the next million.